basically live with it and wear it. It's going to be still a fairly accurate measurement, even though there's that sort of tiny little bit of discrepancy. It's going to be good enough to formulate your numbers and to give you a good picture as what's happening with your batch anyway.
If you're only getting a small number of oysters, let's say 100,000, your error factor will be bigger than if you're getting, say, 1 million oysters. Because your distance on that line, you know, if you're reading the top of the line or the bottom of the line, if you're reading the top of the line or the bottom of the line down here,
That's true.
because of the total percentage of or number of oysters, your error factor would be bigger than if you was reading the top or the bottom of the line up here.
This variability is why we always do more than one count.
Ben, can I ask a question? Can you line up all those little containers and tell us which ones are the best to use for when the oysters come from the hatchery to the nursery the first day?
Rightio.
And which ones are the right ones to use when you're selling from the nursery to the farmers?
This is going to again vary depending on the amount that you actually buy in as a purchase as a nursery operator. Obviously, if you're only buying 100,000 spat and they're coming 1,000 micron retained, you're probably not going to be working in something more than 100 mils to start with, maybe a 250.
I think most of our minimum nursery orders are about $500,000.
If we're talking in the millions, personally, I would get a range of different size classes. We've got everything from 10 mils right up to 500 mils, then we go to 2000s, like we've got a 1,000 and then a 1,500 and then a 2,000. But we do a whole spread of things here. It's probably finding out what you're mainly dealing with in your business. I'd suggest that the small one would be a really good buy for when you're purchasing them straight from Nick. They arrive for that first sort of 24 hours. You definitely want to have something like this so you can do your volumes and your gradings, etc. But then you're going to find that you're going to get into things that are more along this sort of size. So I would suggest to everyone that perhaps buying the whole scale. These are the things that are going to be useful to you at the end result sort of thing when you're going to sell them on to farmers. So obviously they're going to be very important. But having said that, these are just as important at the start.
You do your count, you want your 2 or 3 mil, so you use that. But then, how much have I got of it? I've got 1.5 litres because I bought 500,000 or I've got 1 million of them. So you need that to do your total count, to measure.
Your volumes.
You can't do it in that times 50 or whatever, times 100. And you can put your 500,000 or your million in that 2 litre container, or it might be up here somewhere, 108 or 1.8 litres. You know your total count that way. Easy. But then for your counting side of it, you need the little fella.
Yeah, essentially, you can probably get away with a few less than the whole team. I would start off with something small, as Jeff says, something around that size, so you can do your small counts on the ex-hatchery stuff. I'd probably look at something in this range as a mid-range, so that you can then do your gradings and your volumes on that. And then, as Jeff says, you probably need something a little bit larger. For larger spat, don't be counting them in the small ones because they virtually sit on top of one another and they don't pack down well. You do need something that's going to give you a little bit of space. But, yeah.
Another suggestion to get close with the small stuff, what we're dealing with here, and you're counting straight ex-hatchery, for what I did, because I couldn't find a 10 mil one, I went to the chemist shop and got a syringe. And they're graduated in quarter mils. They're a smaller diameter. For tiny oysters, I found they're okay. Needle off, bung the bottom hole up, plunger out. You can work out whether you got 2 mil, 2.5, 1.75 mil, and you can work pretty finely in a closer sample size.
Yeah. And another thing about those syringes too is you can actually use those to check your measuring equipment because they're really quite accurate. So what you can do is you can go in and get an insulin syringe or something that's got a 1 mil volume, put it in. Squirt 1 mil in there, see where it comes up to on the marker. Put 3 mils in, make sure it's accurate so you can check your equipment as you go around.
Can I just add one thing? When you do your 3 mil, I don't know if anyone's mentioned this, do 3 mil, measure it out, count it, but then put it into a bigger cylinder, just to check that your 3 lots of 3 in this cylinder add up to 9 in this cylinder, just to check that you're not getting any differentiation because of the narrower cylinder. That's where that count I did with yours, that's where I was wrong. I used a 5 mil cylinder, And when I used a 5, it was very narrow, and I measured 1 or 2 mils in a 5 mil cylinder. It didn't come out the same in this cylinder. It was different, and that's where I underestimated the amount of oysters that Nick had sent me.
Well, I think that's about it, Ben.
No worries, mate.
Well, thanks very much, Ben, for your expertise.
Not a problem. Anytime.
Okay.